Welcome to the Creepin' It Real Show, your one-stop shop for weird news, movie reviews, otherworldly, and paranormal shenanigans. We'll take a dive into what's going on in creepy pop culture. You can follow Creepin' It Real Show on Twitter at creepin_it. You can email us at creepinitrealshow@gmail.com. You can also go to our website, creepinitshow.com.
Smoke some shit. What?
Smoke some shit. Or if you're in Georgia, take some gummies, because we can't smoke nothing here.
You're not allowed to smoke it for reals?
Unless you're dying of cancer or something.
But you're allowed to do the gummies or not?
Well, because they don't have the THC in them. They're just the CBD gummies.
Oh, cop out. Anyway, we're recording starting now with a song and a dream.
Welcome to the Creepin' It Real Show, your one-stop shop for weird news, spooky, otherworldly, and paranormal shenanigans.
Paranormal, otherworldly shenanigans. We'll take a dive into what's going on in creepy pop culture.
Yes.
You can follow us at
all the places. Yeah. Just follow us.
Monos.
Just fucking follow us, for fuck's sakes. Jesus Christ. Do we need to beg? Damn.
Who's swearing at who about what with the who?
No, I'm just swearing at our listeners.
Oh.
It's all good.
I'm not swearing at our listeners. I love you guys. Give her the bad reviews.
Hey. Sometimes it's tough love. Tough love.
I sound like I'm in the same room as you for once.
You do, but I am hearing a little bit of an echo of myself. So I'm not sure how we can cut that one out.
Oh.
Yep, there I am. I hear myself again. I'm like talking. I'm like barking at me.
I'm recording a podcast. Bite me. Anyway.
Who are you talking to?
My family just got home.
Oh, okay.
My family just got home.
Well, welcome, family.
I was like, leave me alone.
I'm just fixing our levels. Talk again.
Level up.
Oh, yeah, you're good. All right. You hit the yellow.
Level up. I don't even have to put my mouth in the microphone to speak. It's pretty nice.
So if you want to see parenting success all around, I Uber or Grubhubbed Taco Bell to our house tonight for dinner. Oh, yeah, I got a really bad feedback here.
Taco Bell. Yeah, I can hear you like reverberating.
Yeah. How do we fix that? Do you have earplugs?
Maybe we just need some extra bass.
You need some headphones.
Oh, I can oblige that. Hold on.
Because then you hear it and I don't hear it. Nobody else hear it because nobody wants to hear me twice.
Let me just see if this thing has a headphone jack because it is basic AF. This is like the media of computers.
Really?
Basic AF. Little slow, little basic, but it gets the job done. Hold on, I'm not going to be able to hear you for a second. What the fuck? Why does this? Ow. And ow. All right. Testes, 1, 2.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Ooh, we have success.
SUCCESS. That's the way you spell success.
We actually sound like a podcast right now. Listen to us. We're so professional.
What? It's pretty isolated. That's great.
It is lovely.
I like it. I didn't think it mattered, but it fucking matters.
Oh, it totally matters. Yeah. Yay. You're just coming up the best of us now, aren't you?
Coming up in the world with my shitty little computer.
Well, I want you to start us off because I see you're a Tennessee man and I would like him to begin our show. So basically, this is going to be a very basic show. It's just me and Moni, Yardley's.
Basic like us, like we said.
Yeah, basic bitches doing a podcast. Yardley is off doing Mardi Gras, and he does this every year. I've actually gone with him to Mardi Gras one year, and he never stopped. It like literally is just Mardi Gras. I was like old and like, holy shit, like this is
Mardi
crazy. It's
Gras
like
to death.
they don't stop. It is Mardi Gras crazy. They don't play. So every year he goes, I totally understand because I know this is how I met him, was actually at the Mardi Gras, and we bonded over doing podcasts. So it was a great experience. That's how I met him. So so he's off at Mardi Gras, literally in New Orleans. Lord knows what's going on there. They're probably freezing, but and so it's just me and Moni, and we decided to do a little sideshow to compensate for not having
Because we are
show.
a sideshow.
Yeah, that's true. And so this is Kristi and Moni does weird news for the day, and this will be our just generic show until my Bigfoot show, which I will totally admit I haven't done shit for yet.
I was going to say, which you'll start working on shortly.
Yes, very quickly. I'll get right on that. So tell us about, and please tell me this didn't happen at Chili's, because I've always suspected that this happens at Chili's. So did it?
Let's see. A Tennessee man is accused of dipping something other than chips into a customer's salsa. Howard Webb, 31, was a driver for dinner delivered. Oh, shit. So it's one of those. Oh, they have a video of him doing it. Yes, they do.
Oh, my God.
I guess
I need to
putting his dick in a bunch of salsa.
I guess I need to click on it then. I was waiting. I wanted you to tell me the story, but if you're telling me
so
damn.
he
And I
allegedly
just
put his
got food delivered. Seriously.
Well, enjoy your salsa because he put his testicles in the salsa and he filmed it because, Facebook or it didn't happen apparently. And a video published by the news station is seen seemingly putting his testicles in a cup of salsa.
Wait.
Someone else in the video identified.
Did he post this himself?
He did.
He did. Kidding?
He did.
Why is he that stupid?
Tennessee.
It feels good on my testicles, he says.
Yep.
God. Okay, keep going.
Tell you what,
and he's wearing like a Confederate flag T-shirt. So
like I said, he's quite the redneck.
Congratulations for being the most readiest redneck ever.
Sweaty balls in the salsa. Let's see. This is what you get when you give an 89-cent tip for an almost 30-minute drive. Oh, it feels good on my testicles, he says.
Ew, that's like, isn't it like salicylic acid or something in there?
There are spicy things. Let's just say they don't do it. They're not doing it there the way we do it in San Diego, because I would have burned your nuts off.
Yeah.
So,
where is this again? Tennessee. No wonder. Probably not that spicy then.
And the delivery driver was giggling, and then they see writing that the driver was was a rogue independent contractor. The unidentified food delivery driver.
Sorry.
With my nuts. I mean, I'm all about rock out with my cock out, but I don't know about salsa with my nuts out. I don't really know. Unidentified food delivery driver engaged in criminal behavior, blah, 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 indecent acts, blah, 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 as well as unverified claims of, inserting poisonous substances inside customers' drinks. Oh, snaps! What did he do? Did he film that too? So the delivery service wrote that it reported the driver to law enforcement authorities, and he was arrested and charged with, I'm sorry, I've never heard of this charge before, adulteration of food. It just makes me think of like a sexual, yeah.
Oh boy, okay. That's funny. That's really funny. And see, this is why I ordered Taco Bell to be delivered, and even though right now they're doing this promo where it's free, I tipped her 20% of the order, and then I tipped her another $3 when she brought it to me. And I was like, I already tipped you once, but
really well too.
I fucking tip.
I didn't even think about the testicles, but still.
Oh, I always tip well because hello, and you're gonna hear jingling because I'm drinking alcohol. So,
looking at the comments, somebody says each year the average American eats 19 pubic hairs.
Oh, what? I thought it was spiders. Now they've moved it to pubic hairs, huh?
That's what I was thinking too. So, balls, and to think I've used Vicks Vapor Rub, rolling on the floor laughing. Taco Bell, ... Crotcho Bell, ... So yeah, some good comments too. Come for the testicles, stay for the comments.
Oh, of course, it's Fox News. Yeah, you guys, that's some hardcore hitting news right there. Man tipped his testicles in customer salsa. I want to know where the food came from. What salsa? Whose salsa was it? That's what I want to know.
It's your mama does salsa. I don't
I
know.
guess
Just
so.
make shit up.
They're not going to reveal their sources. It's a Mexican restaurant. That's all they're saying.
Well, it must be a real Mexican restaurant down in Tennessee. So
Woo! I can imagine. They usually do migrate up there. That's a sarcasm thing, but anyway. So I clicked this article and thought it was really bizarre, but I purposely didn't read it all because I wanted to read it on the show, and I like to kind of have my own responses as I read. So there's this huge situation going on in Russia, and it's getting global news coverage. Of course, we don't really deal with global news coverage in the United States, so we're all probably very
although we do deal a lot with Russia, allegedly.
We do, but not apparently their crazy ass shit going on over there. There is this couple that just got busted for being cannibals, literally being murderers, murdering people, and it's been this big thing going on, and all these countries are talking about it. Like, I've been looking on all these different, like, I watch all these, BBC, Al Jazeera, and all these different countries talking about this. We have not said a word about it, and it is bizarre. So this couple has been busted in Russia for eating over 30 people in an 18-year period.
At least they were legal.
Yeah. And the wife is now finally talking. And she says that this is the title of this, which the Daily Mail has the longest fucking titles ever. Like, they just make sure they cover every keyword they can to get you to come to their page. So this is literally the title. Wife in cannibal couple suspected of eating dozens of victims claims her cheating drove maniac husband to steam, pickle, and freeze remains of waitress as she's jailed for more than 11 years for instigating murder. First of all, 11 years?
Yeah, for instigating. How do you instigate a murder? Do you just is that like what Charles Manson did, where you just look at someone and say, like, yeah, somebody else killed him, I'm instigating? I don't know.
Yeah, but this says earlier reports claimed the couple had some 30 victims over an 18-year period. And she's only getting 11 years?
It's Russia.
She must be talking, I guess.
They're probably grateful for the population control.
I guess, maybe. It's cold. You're not going to go out to the grocery store. You're just going to eat whatever's around you. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just convenience. Come on now.
A Russian woman suspected of being part of a cannibal couple who ate dozens of victims has been jailed for 11 and a half years. I cannot believe that's all she's getting. Sorry. 43-year-old Natalia Bashkiva was found guilty of instigating the murder of 35-year-old waitress Alina Vasquez. Sorry, but I don't know how to say these things, by her husband.
Bakshiva.
In a statement given in the court, she claimed her cheating had driven her maniac husband to steam, pickle, and freeze the waitress remains.
It happens.
Her spouse, Dmitry Bakskiva, 35, nicknamed the Devil, is still to face a separate murder trial for being declared psychiatrically
Psychiatrically?
So apparently he's sane, is what they're saying. Do you
Got
need
it.
to make all the big words? Anyway, earlier media reports citing law enforcement sources claim the couple had some 30 victims over 18 years between them. Again, so is this just for her, or are they just trying her for that one thing? Like, that's fucking crazy. They lured victims from dating websites and sold meat at the military academy where they lived. Meat is is in quotes. Bashkiva's trial in Russia only concerned the waitress, whose butchered remains, some cooked in a frying pan, were found in the family's fridge and freezer and on their cooker. She was convicted of provoking her husband to murder the waitress, who allegedly flirted with her husband during a drinking session. Bathsheba had earlier committed or admitted to being a cannibal, but later retracted. In a rambling 7-minute statement from the court cage, Bathsheba confessed, "I am guilty that for the last 3 years I had another man and did not name him to the jury." Okay. And
So basically, she's saying she drove her husband to this behavior, and it's like, I wonder if that's like a way to throw him under the bus and be like, yeah, because I didn't have anything to actually do with it. I just drove him crazy. Or if she's really trying to be like, it's all my fault. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
she's trying to own a little bit to get the bare minimum is what she's trying to do.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. That's what my kids do. Like, they'll be like, yeah, I did this little thing, but then actually they did
I killed him, but I didn't lie about it.
Yeah.
So.
No, it was like, it was my fault he killed him, when she probably like loaded their body into the freaking back of the truck, you know, like it was.
She ate them while they were still alive.
Exactly. She probably took a bite out of their face or something crazy, which, by the way, that movie, The Loved Ones on Shudder, holy shit, dude. Have you seen that movie yet?
The Loved Ones. I don't think so.
You have to watch it. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I think I heard good things about it, but I haven't watched it. I watched Six Souls this week.
I haven't seen that one. I recommended it, I think, on the last show, but I just have to reiterate that this is some crazy shit. Like, this reminds me, it's not exactly, because they weren't really cannibals, but it reminds me of that movie. So you got to watch it. It's definitely a must-see. It says that her husband guessed she was cheating. She told the judge, "This man was even involved in our church wedding. I'm guilty, Your Honor, that with my behavior, I brought my husband to what he has done. If he went for this murder and cannibalism, I blame him. I blame myself." See, this is what she's doing. So she's blaming herself for cheating to push him to do that. But now, come on. I asked him why he removed the scalp from the woman's head. He replied, "Her hair looked like yours. And to prevent this happening to you, I decided to chop it off and destroy it."
Nice.
Oh, boy.
Like one does.
I mean, okay. Yeah, it's a long, long article. If you're interested in reading a little bit more about this fucking crazy ass story, this is way more. Yeah. You're going to hear a lot more crazy about anything like this. You're not going to see this on Discovery ID. I'll tell you that right now. So if you want to read some really fucked up stories about this couple, real life couple going on trial right now, look it up. You can find quite a bit of it on the Daily Mail, which is a UK site. And just Google Russian couple and cannibal, and I think you'll probably find what you need to find out. But holy shit. More than one,
then you're like, what the fuck's going on in Russia, y'all?
I mean, I don't know. I think that maybe, these things probably go on everywhere. I don't know. But anyway, moving on. People eat people, apparently. So,
or they just eat their testicle-laden salsa.
Yes. Well, I'll take the testicle-laden salsa over eating a person. Not all day long, but if I was like a gun to my head, yeah. I don't ever want to make this decision, but if I had to, I would say dip somebody's testicles in salsa over eating somebody. I don't know how you would answer that question. But, huh?
Dip and nene. Sounds delicious.
Get me some chips and some like queso and salsa. I can do that, but
salsa I ain't eating no queso con nuts.
God. Okay, so I have this really cool story. I don't know how it's going to come to fruition yet. I'm still working on the details, but so my real job is doing a real documentary, and I have been tasked with handling that. And part of that is finding the film crew that will handle that will film it. And I'm also looking for them to kind of complete it, because at the end of the day, I'm not comfortable with us doing all of that in-house. I mean, we do have experience. We do commercials. I just finished a commercial with a Virginia dairy situation, but I'm not comfortable doing a full-on fucking documentary. So I was like, all right, I need to really look into this, and I've been interviewing some awesome people and who have done a lot of really cool things. And surprisingly, there's a lot of shit going on around Atlanta right now because entertainment is coming here to film. So I've been talking to a lot of really cool people that are doing some really cool stuff. And the epitome of cool happened, though. Last week, I interviewed a guy who actually films the after The Walking Dead. There's that after series where they kind of interview
Talking Dead?
Yes, The Talking Dead, and then kind of that where they show the filming of The Walking Dead. So he handles all of that. He does the whole series and everything. And asked him to come and talk about what I'm doing with my real job. He was really excited about it and, has some really fun plans. In this conversation, though, he reveals that he is also doing the documentary after filming of the new series Creepshow, which we have talked about on the show, that we have expressed some super big excitement about.
Yeah.
And that we have talked about. We actually reviewed Creepshow a couple of months ago. It's one of my absolute favorite shows from when I was a kid. And so when he said that, I just was like, what? And he let me in on some really cool facts and some situations going on there. So what I can say is that, first of all, he's giddy about it. He's so excited. He's a big Creepshow fan too. So he was like, it is all like, it's going to be so much like the original. Part 1 mainly. There will be some part 2 kind of shout outs to
Nice.
lots
Yeah.
of Easter eggs, giving patronage to the original. All the original writers, of course, except George A. Romero, will be there. And they're going to, even the Creepshow Creep is going to look like the first Creepshow episode movie. So you're going to have all the original type characters with modern day stories. And there's going to be a lot of different writers for the stories. I almost think it's going to kind of be like a horror Black Mirror in a way.
It kind of sounds like that's the vibe they're going for.
Yeah, that's kind of the impression that I got reading a lot of this. But Greg Nicotero, who is the Walking Dead executive producer and their makeup effects wizard, is the one who's basically controlling the whole thing. And it seems like he has a pretty good relationship with Stephen King, and Stephen King has a lot of faith in him because he's not on set a lot. Stephen King isn't. And I think that's a good indication that he trusts the process and the message that they're getting across. He is in charge.
Well, that'll allow him to kind of also view it as a fan, which will be great.
He is, though, very much involved with some of the shows. I think one of the episodes, Nicotero will actually be adapting the Skeleton Crew movie as a story. And then other authors who, like Joe Hill, who is Stephen King's son, will be involved. Josh Marilyn, House of the Head, Joe Lansdale, The Companion, Christopher Buellham, Man with the Suitcase, Bruce Jones, All Hallows Eve, John Esposito, Knights of the Paw, and Rob Schraub, Bad Wolf Down. But then also a lot of directors have been involved, which is David Bruckner, which is The Ritual, which we actually did a review on that movie. Roxanne Benjamin, Southbound, which I freaking love Southbound. Again, Rob Schraub. Sorry, Rob. Your name is very hard. Rob Schraub. Ghosted and Community, and the original Creepshow director, John Harrison, are involved. There's a lot of good people involved in this, so I am really excited about it. And I did get a text from him yesterday thanking me for the opportunity to work on what my normal job is doing, but also saying the interview is in the works. So basically an interview on set with possibly Greg Nicotero is in the works, and you better fucking fly down here for that. I'm just saying right now. That would be awesome if we could get all three of us on there and do an interview and just be on set. So I was like so excited when I was talking to him. I mean, he could tell that I was our true fan. I'm like, oh, you have no idea. Like, this is, first of all, I'm a huge Stephen King fan. Second of all, Creepshow is just one of the just originals, you know? I mean, it's that one and Cat's Eye. You just can't, you can't replace them. They're amazing. And he was like, oh, then you are going to freaking love this series. He's like, I'm so excited about it. He's like, and I can't say anything. And I'm like, that's okay. Awesome, I get it. But, oh man, I'm so excited. So he's like, and it's in the works. So hopefully we will get that regardless of if I hire him for the other thing. But so I am just so stoked, and thank God for Georgia, you know, allowing all this shit to film, because it's giving us some great opportunities to.
Oh yeah, you guys have way better like licensing process, you know, to allow people to actually come and film. LA is a fucking racket out here. Like they've made it so difficult for anything to happen.
Yeah, licensing, and we have also, I think, done a tax break. So that's another huge contributor to.
If you found a way to get the weather so that they could film while it's sunny and clear, then you'd really have it unlocked.
Honestly, I thought about that, and I'm shocked that people still film here, because unless you're filming something that's raining or you know, shitty weather, I don't even know what people are doing here.
They only do dark and stormy nights in Georgia.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of horror movies, which score. Here's hoping they film the new Haunted On show here as well, so that we can check that one out too, because they did the Haunting on Hill House here in Georgia. So I'm hoping they find another one around here, another house around here to film at. That would be freaking awesome.
Maybe Bly Manor is located in Georgia. Who knows?
Oh, it should. Maybe they just gonna redo the other one, which I've actually looked up. It's not far from here, and have thought about going to look at and see. But that would be awesome. So what else? You got anything else to talk about before we talk about?
I do want to plug something, and I can't give all the details until next week, but I do want to tease a little bit. And it's not horror related necessarily, although there are horror elements, but it is definitely pop culture. If you are someone who attends Comic-Con or any other cons, and or you're interested in attending Comic-Con, you should really, really attend WonderCon, which takes place about an hour away from San Diego's world famous Comic-Con. And it is actually run by the same nonprofit for education organization. And WonderCon is extremely affordable. It takes place the last weekend of March. There are still tickets. It's not crazy to get tickets. And it is located actually right next to Disneyland, so you can make a day of that as well. But it is a wonderful convention. It has all the things that the big Comic-Con convention has, because it's located so close to Los Angeles as well. So you get the same kind of talent and creators without the fucking melee that is going to the San Diego convention. And I actually have, for the first time ever, educators have gotten a little bit of a stronghold, thanks to me, actually, really, because I'm the one who pitched it. So I'm just going to take the credit because it's true. But I'm actually going to be doing 2 events there. One is a panel for educators, and it happens on Saturday. And I can't give any more details yet because they're super like cloak and dagger, like everything's shady until 3 weeks prior to the event, which will be next week. But also I have an open house, and anybody who is at the convention can attend, and there will be big talent. If you read comics, you will know the person who is going to be there to meet and greet with people in an informal setting. Come have coffee and talk about comics with educators and with some very big name creators in the comic book world space. So I hope that you can come. That's on actually Sunday. And I will give details, including room information, on our next show.
Nice. I'd love to go.
It's super fun. And it's going to be beautiful weather, probably. It's a lovely location. The only thing you get that sucks are those Westboro Baptist Church people.
What? They go?
Those fuckers, they were in Vegas when I was there the other day, like last weekend. They come to all the cons, and they're so nasty about how we're all going to hell because we like comics. Like, why is that mutually exclusive from believing in Jesus or whatever they're trying to peddle on us? We're homosexuals, like all this other stuff that they're just like, you're gonna all go burn in hell. We're like, cool, but we're having a good weekend right now, so shut up.
Why? Why would you burn
Yeah.
in hell for liking comics? That's so
I
weird.
don't know. I was with my daughter, and she would have been 5
Aw.
last year. And we're walking by, and they're saying about how women's place is like serving your husband and not out at these comic conventions. And she's like, "Mommy, what are they saying about girls?" So I almost punched one in the face, is what happened. And then they get really pushy, like they try to give you their literature, and I was like, "No, thanks." And she like puts it in my face again, and I like shoved her. I'm like, "Don't touch me." So good times. Other than that, it's an amazing time with other like-minded fans.
No,
Just
it's
those
like you're selling it even more when you're telling me I
know,
can like get
right?
in a brawl. I'm like, wait, what?
Well, when
I
you
can
hear
like
some of
punch
these
people?
names for next week, you will be there. So yeah.
All right, that sounds awesome.
So
Okay, so did you get the opportunity to watch Leaving Neverland?
the opportunity, boy, did I!
The
I watched most
opportunity.
of the first one,
Whew.
and then I didn't watch the second one because I figured, hey, it's more of the same.
Oh
I did
no,
watch
that was
the
actually.
Oprah.
Oh, that was the good one where
Yeah,
that's when he gets busted. Yeah, okay.
yeah,
I
and I
watched
watched the
all of it.
Oprah special.
Yeah.
And I just want to also say real quick that my husband's been kind of seeing what the commentary has been on Twitter about this. And Kristi, I think you'll be right there with me as a survivor as well. People who direct your fucking remote control on a premium network channel that not everyone has to watch a documentary about people who claim to have been molested need to be prepared that the details are going to be nasty, or prepared to fast forward or scroll through or stop watching. Keep your fucking mouth shut. Apparently people on Twitter were like, I didn't expect it to be that rough. I don't blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you know who didn't expect it to be that rough? People who get molested, sexually assaulted.
The 7-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah. So if he can sit there and be able to recount what he allegedly survived, you're the one who like put yourself front row literally in your living room to watch it, you need to fucking sit there and watch it or stop watching it, but you don't need to complain about it. So there.
I agree. And hey, you know what? I know this isn't exactly horror pop culture, but it's horrifying. And
Yeah.
I started to watch it, and I knew I was putting it off a little while because I knew, I've been very honest about the fact that I was molested when I was a child. Was not by a superstar. I can't even imagine. And watching all of this, I knew that it was going to be hard. The main reason why is the one thing that pulled me out of the despair of what had happened to me was dance. I danced for 11 years. I taught dance. I danced from the time that I was 11 until I was 22. And I remember choosing his music. It pulled me out of this space that was devastating to me. And now to sit down and watch this and know that this time I was here healing from what had happened to me by a person that was actually doing these things to somebody else was really hard. Yeah, really hard to digest. And it was a hard thing for me to watch. I cried a lot. I shed a lot of tears. But it was also kind of healing in a sense, because you know what? They did such a great job explaining molestation as a child. It's not always...
And explaining the predatory behavior of someone who basically interviews a family, picks out a family, and then grooms the child and slowly controls. I was assaulted by somebody who, when I was a minor, actually. And that was kind of the situation was, I was dating him and I was just shy of being 18. And I would go over to his house and he would make me a drink. And this went on for weeks of us dating. and making out, but not going any further than that. And he would make me drinks. And one night the drink had something in it, and everything escalated from there. And that's what they do, is they reel you in. Their predatory behavior. They make you feel like you can be comfortable. They make you feel like you're special to them. And in a world where people are always seeking something, that's really, something that especially young or at risk, or, these young kids, apparently, obviously these kids had pretty messed up family lives for the most part, kind of broken, at least weak at best, and he
and
picked
I
from them. He
I
just took
cannot.
over.
I have a hard time with the parents because I struggle
Yes,
understanding, but
absolutely.
also understanding. Like, I can see how this would be so intoxicating, even
Yeah.
as an adult. Like, having him, oh my God, if freaking Michael Jackson today knocked on my door, I'd be like, I mean, he's
Oh,
dead, but I mean,
and I'm
like,
a little
holy
bit young
shit.
for remembering how famous he was. I mean, I
Oh,
kind of
he
had an
was
idea about that,
everything,
but
everything. He was, and that was when Oprah Winfrey said it's hard to discuss. He was the sun, literally.
yeah.
Like, for me, for
There
us,
are not
my
celebrities
God,
that big anymore.
no,
There
it
just
doesn't
aren't.
happen that way anymore. But he was the sun. Like, there is no other way to describe him. I mean, bigger than Whitney Houston, bigger than Madonna. He
Yeah.
was just
Oh,
everything.
there was no doubt that he was so talented, and
Oh,
there's
it's
no doubt that he grew
heartbreaking.
up in a
Yeah.
really bad environment. That is no fucking excuse. And I'll tell you what, my husband and I, as we sat down to watch it, went in with a hypothesis, like maybe he actually would have been diagnosed with some kind of autism or like arrested development, basically, where that put him in the physical body of a man, but with the mind of a child. But then as soon as you start to see how he reeled these kids in and
Yeah, no,
slowly,
he
slowly,
knew what he was
slowly
doing.
exposed them, he
Yeah.
knew what the fuck he was
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
And I hope he rots in hell, quite frankly. And I believed he did it at the time, but the details just make your blood boil. And the only thing I feel bad about, I've always felt bad about that culture of outing celebrities who may or may not be gay. And there's definitely a culture now where you're looking at Macaulay Culkin, and you're looking at Corey Haim and all these people who have claimed that this didn't happen to them. And you know what? I unfortunately, we're in a public space saying this. I believe it did. I just don't see how they could have spent the same kind of time with Michael Jackson and not had some kind of similar experience, because that's what he was a fucking monster.
Well, and even
And
if he didn't, and here, let's be honest, famous kids versus nobodies,
yeah,
probably the no babies are a better target. I'm not saying it didn't happen to them.
right, but it's not. But also kids. I mean, a lot of these kids, you got to look at how many of these kids' parents really just use their kids to make money off of. So a famous
totally.
kid being another famous person, it was still basically
Well,
pimping
and
out.
then
Get all the publicity we can,
the horrifying part of like Corey Feldman's coming out and going, "Oh, this never happened to me. They're lying." And I'm like, you are like the poster boy of pedophilia. Like, you have written these books about pedophilia running rampant in Hollywood and how you were a victim, and here you are saying,
Like,
"Oh,
and his hardcore drug issues,
and
but if they say
it didn't happen to him."
it's not
So if it didn't happen to him, that's fine, but that doesn't
it's
mean it
not
didn't
our
happen to
place
the
to say
other
whether it did
guys.
or not. If there's something that they don't want to deal with, or that maybe they're dealing with privately with a therapist and they don't want to tell the world about, that's their business. But I just feel bad that this has kind of put new speculation on people who may or may not have been victims also, was kind of my point.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I think, there's this this attack about, they're coming out now, like they've got something to benefit from that. And I personally, I ignored what happened to me until probably 3 years ago. I believe it was the Brock Turner thing that like hit me. That, and then my daughter becoming more independent. She wasn't the age I was when it happened to me, but I could control who she was around when she was my age when it happened to me. I was 8. And so I could control who she's around when she's 8 years old. When she hit that age where she was off doing her own things, that's what really hit me, was I can't no longer control who she's around, and what if something happens to her. And that really hit me. And then the Brock Turner case really affected me for some reason. I think it's because people didn't believe her, and that was one of my fears when I was a kid, when I didn't say anything. So I went 30 something years without saying a word to anybody, to then full on being in the fetal position in my closet, losing my shit, trying to figure out what was wrong with me, and understanding that this was what was happening, and this is what happened, and this is why. And it is something about having kids, and I can just imagine how that felt to them, was having
Yeah.
those kids. And this is not, I know this is not exactly horror, but it is horrifying to think about.
It is. He's a monster.
So, yeah, and how it affects us all in some way, and that I in no way think that these people are lying. They have nothing to gain, and I will tell you that recanting those stories and talking about them is ripping that wound open every single time, and they're doing it because they care, because they
And
hope
when you
that it's
watch
reaching
it,
somebody.
When you watch it, you can kind of see, like when you haven't watched it, it's really easy to just be like, why would they have lied for him when they had a chance to, send him to jail or whatever?
But when they explain it, it makes so much sense.
When they explain it, it's just like, of course they did. They were children. They thought they were in a relationship. They thought they loved this person. They thought this person loved them.
And it's Michael Jackson.
It's like, it's someone powerful.
It's the most powerful person at the time.
Why do people like
in existence?
I've never identified the person that, assaulted me. I've never, ever said who that is. Yeah. I have specific reasons for that, and karma has taken care of some of it for me. But I mean, he's not even famous. Like, he's fucking nobody. I would say that, and the world would collectively shrug. But I can't even imagine being a child and being deposed. Like, going to court is a horrifying experience the first time you ever do it, and having the lawyers kind of come at you and try to attack your character when you're a child, and of course you're gonna just say whatever's the easiest path of least resistance. Yeah. So,
well, I wanted to also say that for anybody who's gone through this, you should watch this, because as hard as it is, it truly gives you an understanding of what this experience does to you, and also explains your feelings very well, because it's not like, I think Oprah did really well with saying, it isn't like this, pushing this poor child up against a wall, and it's not like that. It isn't like that. It's a participation thing, because kids don't know any better, and they just want love and acceptance. And having that from Michael Jackson, are you fucking kidding me? Like, of course. And so it's just this,
and even
very
not
healing experience
that has all the toys and the arcade and the live animals. That guy it was just a fun thing a minute. You wouldn't stop to think that what he's saying is normal isn't fun anymore.
And I think Wade Robson did very well with saying that he was groomed by the world before Michael Jackson ever stepped foot, like, in his presence. Like, he was who he was. He was loved by everybody. He was already groomed to that point. Like, Michael Jackson groomed him as well, but he didn't need to, because he was a celebrity. He was the son. I mean, as that writer had talked about, like, he was Michael fucking Jackson. I mean, like a god to these people. So a god to me. He was a god to me. He was everything to everybody at this time. And so it's devastating. Like, I watched this, and then I was like finished, and I was watching, or I was scrolling through our guide, and there was something like inside the mind of Robin Williams, and I was like, oh my God. And I even said to Rick, I was like, I don't want to know what was inside his mind, because I cannot take another fucking disappointment of my heroes tonight. Like, can we just let Robin Williams be? Like, holy shit. I mean, this is just, it's devastating. It really is. I mean, I grew up and adored Michael Jackson. So now I have to sit down and realize that what he helped me through, he was actually doing to other people.
Yeah.
And wow, what a horrible feeling. Like, that was awful. So anyway, I do recommend it. It is a trigger warning, but I do recommend anybody to watch it. And especially if you've gone through something like this. It was a sort of a painful but yet healing experience, because they do such a good job explaining what it's like. And I was like, yes, 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 just wow.
Yeah.
And it was a very cathartic type experience. So everybody should do it. Everybody should watch, whether you agree or not. Get in there.
Yeah. Get in there.
So now I'll go to an actual real horror movie really quick. I watched this movie, Hole in the Ground.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Is it Shudder or what?
No. I watched it. I bought it or rented it on regular cable. And I have been waiting, because the last time I tried to rent it, they wanted like $13. And I was like, whoa, hold on now.
What?
But then they are now renting it for like $7. So I was like, okay, now for 3 days. So I was like, all right, maybe. And it's got really good reviews. It's a horror movie from Ireland. And I had been reading all these reviews on it, and I was stoked about watching it, but I wasn't like $13 stoked. So I was waiting. I was like, I know a couple more weeks it'll go down, and it did. It was really good. Very different. As a parent, Moni, I think that you will appreciate this one. It's very bizarre. Trying to escape her broken past, her husband dies. Sarah O'Neill is building a new life on the fringes of a backwood rural town with her young son, Chris. A terrifying encounter with a mysterious neighbor shatters her fragile security, throwing Sarah into a spiraling nightmare of paranoia and mistrust as she tries to uncover if the disturbing changes in her little boy are connected to an ominous sinkhole buried deep in the forest that borders their home. It was really good. It was really good. It was basically kind of like a weird, creepy changeling type story. And I dug it. I thought it was really good. I thought it was definitely worth $7 for sure. Like, if you're, faced with renting it for the 3 days for $7, do it. It's worth it for sure. I really did like it. And the freaking song at the end, holy shit, freaked me out. It was
the song freaked you out?
There was a song at the end where I was like, woo, that was crazy. And I go to like, exit out of the movie, and they start playing this weird, creepy, like almost like a lullaby. And it's talking about this woman who kills her son and she hangs. And I was like, yeah, okay, well, that just solidified it. It was good. So definitely a recommendation on my end. So
I watched 6 Souls with people and a person. Yeah, Let me IMDb it here really quick. I don't recommend it, so I don't know why we're bothering. Oh yeah, Julianne Moore and Jonathan Rhys-Meyers.
Yep.
So it should be good. Mm-hmm. Jonathan Rhys-Meyers is a great performance. It's just really, rote. I think I found it on the. You know what? I was looking through that list that you had on the Creeping It Real Facebook page, shameless plug, for Guillermo del Toro's favorite.
Did he?
And actually, this wasn't one of his favorite, but a lot of stuff wasn't available. I didn't want to pay, blah, blah, blah. And so it was like, but if you like that one, you might like this one. And this one had higher reviews than some of the other ones. And it had actors that I liked. So I was like, let's do this. And I watched it.
Yeah, it's got a 6.1 on IMDb.
It's very just, it's typical. Like it's cliche. It's run of the mill. So, I mean, it has some creepy moments, but it's just a running around trying to figure stuff out. And then like people die and stuff happens movie. So there you go. That's my review. People die, stuff happens. It's actually one of my mottos, and it's not in a bad way, like a pessimistic way, but one of my mottos in life is like, shit happens, then you die. Just to be like, don't take everything so seriously. Like, when people are like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'll just be like, it's all right. Stuff happens, then you die. Like, whatever.
Right. So. This is a great review. It says, could have been so good. Disappointing, but watchable. Sounds like what you just said.
It has great acting because it has great actors, but yeah, The story
Yeah.
is.
I
So,
love
we
Julianne
rented
Moore.
from the library. Shameless library plug. We rented the new Halloween movie, which of course, we already saw and reviewed for the show, but my husband hasn't seen. So I'm looking forward to watching it with him and seeing if I have any new takes on it or what he has to say. I'll probably shit all over it because that's what husbands do. But
Well, not mine, but yours does, Mr. Skeptic Skepperson over there.
Skeptic McSkepperson. That's a new one. I like it. Hey, McSkepperson.
Hey, Skeptic McSkepperson. You ready to watch this movie?
Also not horror, but super pop culture. Are you going to see wow, I just totally blanked out of my brain. It's like my favorite character ever. Captain Marvel, the new movie?
I want to, yeah. The girl everybody's freaking out about.
Yeah. The girl. Yes. We're going to go see
what's wrong
the
with
girl
Brie?
on
I think she's
Friday.
adorable. Yeah.
She is. I had it at first when I saw it, though, in my mind, Captain Marvel was like a no-name actress, maybe like a European, like a really strong chick, like those kind of chicks that they cast in like the Fast and the Furious movies as like the bad ladies, you know?
Yeah.
But at any rate, it looks like it's going to turn out. I've heard really good reviews and I am very excited. And though it won't be strictly just horror related, I will just say thumbs up or thumbs down after I've seen it this week. So.
Okay. Everybody's giving her a thumbs down just for existing at this point. So I'm going to probably throw her a bone. Oh my God. Have you not heard about all that?
Dude, I fucking saw her workout. Anyone who works that hard for something, whatever, haters, whatever.
You literally haven't heard about all this shit? Oh my God.
No, I've only been hearing good stuff, but I'm coming from the fandom side of things. Why does everybody hate her?
No. The dude fandom not doing so well. They're pissed that there's a girl.
Oh, yeah. There's the same dudes that when I walk into a comic shop assume that I'm there to see my boyfriend and that I don't know what I'm looking at or talking about, except for that, like, I have more things that I can do in the comic space than they will ever do. And they're the same dudes that are mad that there's a movie with a girl in it. She's a girl and she has lady parts and we don't like it.
Yeah.
So whatever.
That's basically what they said. And then they got on before the movie. They've even seen the movie and started giving her bad reviews, like, already.
Yes, so, I saw that. I saw it. You know what? I'm just going to say, too, I don't like to alienate any listeners, but I will say, if you're somebody who thinks that women shouldn't be involved in pick anything, fuck off our show. 2/3 of the shows are women, and Yardley respects women, and whatever, bye.
Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous. Come on.
We don't do any neck beards. We don't do any... What is that? They're the people that are celibate, something celibate.
Oh, I thought you were talking about incels.
Yeah, that's what it is, incels.
But they're incels because they can't get any. That's like they celebrate that they're such huge dicks
and owe us things.
I'm the biggest asshole that nobody wants to fuck me, and I'm like, that's really something that you're going to celebrate? Okie dokie. Like, I think it's hysterical. Like, my dude is absolutely fantastic and does not in any way is threatened by a female and seems to be doing just fine. So I just can't understand how you would celebrate that. But anyway.
You know how a lot of times in the movies lately, for more representation, they're taking characters that were traditionally maybe white males in comic books and they're turning them into a female or someone of color or whatever.
No.
They didn't even do that in this case. Fucking Carol Danvers is a white lady. They cast a white lady. Like, the comics have a big following. She's been around forever. Like, get over yourselves. If you're mad, be mad that she even existed in the first place. Don't be mad that there's a movie about her, for God's sakes.
Yeah, but even if it doesn't fit the thing, like, really? Like, that's... How many movies have white people taken and, like, created their own story when it wasn't really, we've mischaracterized so many movies. Like, really?
Isn't a samurai?
Exactly. I mean,
he's the same height as a samurai.
Yeah, we just need to get over ourselves real quick. And dudes really do. I love guys. Like, really, y'all are my greatest. Yeah. You're my. Yeah. I love y'all, but come on now. We need to just fucking lighten up just a hair. Like, let's just.
You want to get your dick sucked? At least pretend to like things.
Exactly. And seriously, you want shit to benefit you. Support everybody. You want to just make everything about you. You are going to be an incel. So just FYI, you create what you fear. So let's just all not create what we fear and be happy. One big happy family, and not be angry when there's a different race or sex taking over shit that maybe you don't think should be done.
Not to get too political, but my 6-year-old now yells down with the patriarchy. And my 2-year-old actually will yell resist now. So the future is female, and if y'all don't get with that, you are fucked.
Yeah, I mean, y'all are getting very slowly getting outcast. So
Have you seen those memes? Yeah, there you go. I've seen those memes that are like, they're makeup memes. They're like, primer and foundation and setting powder, and then they're like, at midnight we march on the men.
Exactly. It's just a matter of time, y'all. Come on now. No, can't we all just get along? Come on.
Get on the pussy train or get run over by it. Oh,
That's
that's quite a thing to get run over by. Anyway,
that would be a very wet train.
I mean, only if everything's going well.
If it's happy, it's going to be a wet train. Anywho, I think we should end it with that. This is the reason why Yardley's usually here, by the way. He's like,
He's talking about pussy trains. More like Train to Busan, less Train to Pussy. So
less trained as pussies. Anyway, I would like to thank my co-host Moni for joining us this evening, and I would like to thank myself for joining us this evening.
Thank you to you and to me and to us.
Thanking all of us. Thank you for listening. We are crazy, and I've been drinking, so that happens sometimes.
Crazy love you guys, though. So thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you. You guys are awesome. We surpassed 1,350 followers on Podbean, which is huge. That's awesome. We're in the top 10 horror and paranormal podcasts right now on Podbean, and lots of good reviews are coming in. We appreciate it. All of it. It means a lot to us because this is not our job. We love to just do it, and we hope that you guys enjoy it. So, speaking of doing it, I'm going to go to bed and, maybe get lucky. We'll see.
Bed, in air quotes, bed. With a man that respects women. Yoo-hoo!
Yes, he is very respectful of me and my lady parts.
Respect that.
And he don't care. He don't care. First of all, he doesn't watch TV. But if he did, I can guarantee you that he would not care if a superhero was male, female, black, white, whatever. He don't give a fuck. So, good for him. He's awesome. You have anything to say, Moni?
Yeah, buddy. Then shall we creep it out? I got nothing to say. I mean, my guy's awesome, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, I have such a happy marriage. Let's brag on it so everybody can be like, Yawnsville. That's not horror. The only thing horrible is the thought of marriage to some people. So,
that's
there.
True.
Anyway.
See, you're talking about your marriage. It'd be horrifying, right?
Oh, yes, exactly.
Oh, my God.
I'm just anybody with how blissfully happy and sexed up I am at all times. The end.
All right. Well, I will take us out with that then. So thank y'all for listening. We appreciate everything, and we will catch you on the flip side. Bye.